Good evening and thanks for joining us for another episode of ICTFEST 7 years and counting. I'm R. Anderson Edgel. Our guests this evening are educator Ms. Peecheeta Spencer and Sandra Tucker, database administrator in the Ministry of Information Broadcasting, Telecommunications, Science and Technology. We're going to take a short commercial break right now and we'll be back with our first interview. Stay with us.
My name is Lawrence Jardian. I'm the founder of DMS, Data Management Solutions Limited. We are a software development company. We specialize in payroll software for Antigua and Barbuda businesses. We first developed the product in 1992 and we wrote it for Windows in 2000 to meet Y2K. Since then, we have acquired a number of major clients, including Social Security Board and medical benefits. We also customize our application to meet the needs of many of our clients, to integrate with accounting packages, time and attendance modules, and also Microsoft Word and Excel, popular applications. We have participated in the ICTFEST since 2005. The ICTFEST has given us the opportunity to showcase our product and to meet a number of persons who are providing solutions as well. This year we will be participating in the ICTFEST to continue to demonstrate our product and to some extent assist the national development in terms of its ICT quest.
ICTFEST 2011, empowering the nation, improving lives.
Hello there. Do you know that we are in the middle of a digital revolution? Almost any individual, regardless of their age or socioeconomic background, should be able to make use of the day-to-day technologies, whether it's the internet, mobile cell phones, or computer. I, as an older person, I am fascinated by this ICT revolution that is currently sweeping the nation. And I don't want other senior citizens within our beautiful state to be left behind. I encourage you to get involved as an active user of technology. The ICTFEST has over the years been a wonderful place for me to go and explore the new developments in information communication technology across Antigua and Barbuda and further afield. I have learned about innovations in ICT that improve health service, delivery, education, and everyday business transactions. Don't miss out on this golden opportunity to learn more about information communication technology. See you soon at the ICTFEST.
ICTFEST 2011, empowering the nation, improving lives.
Good evening and thanks for staying with us. Once again, you're tuned to ICTFEST 7 years and counting. Tonight we're going to take a closer look at the role of ICTs in education. And we have here with us Ms. Peecheeta Spencer to elaborate a bit more on that issue. Good evening, Ms. Spencer.
Good evening, Mr. Edgy.
Well, first of all, you've been around in education for quite some time, and of course, I believe you would have had the opportunity to see the evolution and the role that ICTs has been playing in enhancing education. What stands out most about the way ICTs can assist in education from your perspective?
Thank you for asking that question. I look at ICTs and I think of how students operate in their own world. You see a student on the tree and they normally would have their telephone and they're flicking and clicking and doing all sorts of interesting things. So by introducing ICTs into the classroom, what we're really doing is responding to to what comes natural to the 21st century student. The other thing about introducing ICTs into the classroom is that we are making life very interesting for the students. For instance, you can introduce different media in the classroom. In any one lesson, you can use different media. Why is that important? People learn differently. Some people use, more respond to audio initiatives. Others are more tactile, touch. Others tend to be very visual. So when you can bring a multimedia environment into the classroom, you're responding to the different ways in which students learn.
While I appreciate those points that you've raised, I remember some time ago I had a conversation with a teacher about the role of ICTs, and he mentioned that those things are good, but he was adamant that the foundation of learning is reading. How do you respond to that?
It is true that the foundation to learning is reading, but you have to first engage the student, want them to want to learn. And that's what the classroom experience does. It makes the student want to learn, which brings me to another point which I want to raise later about the use of the World Wide Web. But for now, I want to concentrate on the issue with the classroom. I was aware of a software where teachers can investigate the learning, what kind of learning is taking place in the student while the class is going on. That is, the student's response is seen only by the teacher. And so right away, the teacher can see that, okay, 50% of my class is not getting it. And right there and then, the remedial work can take place within the classroom. That's why I'm very excited about software and initiatives to bring ICTs into the classroom. It's to engage the students in learning, and it's also to check. You can use it to check students' understanding while the class is going on.
All right, from your interaction with other individuals in the education system, do you think that here in Antigua and Barbuda, our educational officials and people who work in education appreciate the power that technology has to actually propel and enhance learning?
My impression is that definitely there is a clear understanding that the 21st century student engages differently. And so we need to find other ways of engaging the student population. The challenge for the administrators is the amount of training involved. The ICTs in themselves not going to cause the learning to take place. It is how it is used in the classroom, and that demands training.
All right, how do we ensure?
And secondly,
go right ahead.
The software is not cheap. The resources, they don't come cheaply. In other words, you have to have the infrastructure to deliver it in that way. You must be internet ready, and you must have computers and that sort of thing. It's not cheap, and the training involved also is quite extensive.
All right. Now, in utilizing ICTs in the classroom, how do we ensure that students don't use these things as a distraction to the actual learning process?
A good teacher is a good teacher, a good traditional teacher with proper training makes a very good teacher. Let me see if I can get it straight to you. If you're not prepared as a teacher, putting ICTs in the classroom is not going to help the situation. It makes it worse. All right? It's just like when you had the computers first, you said junk in, junk out.
Yeah.
Similarly, with ICTs in the classroom, the teacher has to be extremely well prepared. And prepared to the point where they engage the student. I'm going to be using this word engage throughout this discussion, because that's what we're doing. We want to have the discussion between the engagement is such that learning is the discussion of ideas between two different minds. Right? And if that discussion is not taking place, if that engagement is not taking place, then the students will wander off and do their own little thing. Right? But the whole purpose of introducing ICTs in the classroom is to engage the students.
And if you look, the students, they're learning a lot on Facebook. and other social networks. They may not be learning the academic things, and that well, yourself as an educator would want them to learn. But because of the medium, Facebook is very engaging, and other social sites there too are very engaging. So it enhances the learning process. And if we can harness some of these technologies, these ICTs, I'm sure, and use it in a way to benefit academics, I'm sure the students will be able to push themselves forward and, of course, enrich their learning.
I think we have to just understand what is taking up the time of the students and use it to their benefit. If the only time they want to look at homework, I'll send the homework to their Facebook sites. Right? If they're always telling me they can't remember the homework, I'm sending it to their I'm texting it to them. Right? We can use what they're using to their advantage. Right? I know that I'm not going to go into the discussion about whether we should allow cell phones into schools or not, but I'm telling you, whatever they are using, we can use it to their advantage.
And today's cell phones are more than just making calls and sending texts. They're very integrated into our lives as far as connectivity is concerned. So that is something that the Ministry of Education should really look into. But Ms. Spencer, another issue here. From a personal standpoint, tell us about your process in embracing technology, because you've been in education when there was hardly any much modern technology, but now I see you have your notebook right on the desk. It seems to be very much a part.
It's extension of my brain right now.
So tell us about that journey, embracing technology and incorporating it into your lifestyle and into your work.
Well, as you say, it's a process. You started out very gingerly, you started by being afraid to touch the computer, right? Then you learned to touch it and it didn't bite you. So you started to learn how to use it. And I started using it to get emails, because at the time there was a new program on and I was dealing with people in another campus, right? And so it was important for me to stay connected. So I started using it mainly for emails. And then I learned that I could learn so much on the internet that I was using it. I mean, the other day I wanted to look at what do you call that thing now? Container gardening. And I thought, I just typed in container gardening and I got all the resources for container gardening. So I use it for my own personal development. I've used it for my professional development. I've used it for my personal development. And have brought others along with me, with the encouragement of those who were already there, brought others along with me to the point where at the last institution where I served, there is a fully developed multimedia room. And we use it particularly to engage students who are part of large classes. Can you imagine being in a classroom with 100 students and you are the one facilitator?
Yeah.
So we thought that we would use this so that students can be engaged all throughout the lesson by virtue of using different media and giving them things. They have resources that they can talk to each other and talk to the teacher at the same time. So that was for us a very important move at that time. And more recently, I've been, ever since it was launched on a particular show, I've been very intrigued by a thing called the Kindle, right? And you know, when you're going on vacation, you say, I need to have reading material. So what you do, you pack up your bag. No, it's very difficult to pack up your bag to go anywhere. They charge you $25. Now, with a very slender slate, you can have as many books to read for the vacation with 6 ounces, 6 ounces of weight. You can carry on as 2.5 million books, if you wish. And so in the institution with which I'm now associated, the A.E. Goodwin Faith and Hope School, we are launching an initiative whereby we are offering students a Kindle, under certain conditions, of course. We're offering them a Kindle, and we're using that to test, to find out for ourselves, will it engage students in learning? Will it encourage them to read more? That's the research question. Will it encourage them to read more? Right? And I'm excited to find out, indeed, if after the glow of owning a Kindle wears off, if indeed the students will be still engaged in reading.
And I know, especially with technology, and even you mentioned the Kindle, there must be a heavy cost involved. But do you think it's worth taking the chance to see the response and the potential benefits that it could have for the students in terms of their reading to actually launch out and actually take that risk?
I wish I could remember the name of the guy, but there is a guy who said, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. And that's my answer to when people say it is too expensive. It is too expensive to keep ourselves in a state of ignorance. And if this is what it takes, let's go for it. Yes, we'll have to monitor things and make sure that it's as cost effective as possible. But I think we ought not to. You see, one of my concerns, having been in the system, every area I go, from the time you engage students up to first form, right? And little by little you see a regression until by the time you reach the tertiary level, you have 66% females as opposed to 33% males. And so I'm always looking at initiatives and ideas that will complement, which will skew into how children learn. And if we can find out what are the barriers which prevent young men from engaging in the process, what are the barriers that will keep them off the block, then it's not too expensive an exercise. If I can find out that and put these things in place, then it is not too expensive an exercise. We spend more money on fighting crime
than on education.
We might end up, let me rephrase that, we might end up spending more money in fighting crime than we spend in education. I think I prefer to spend it in education.
All right.
And then avoid having to spend it in fighting crime.
Now, Ms. Spencer, before we go, we know that one of the features, or one of the new features of ICTs is that it allows people access to information, data, on their own time, whenever they're comfortable, basically on demand, when they want it. How does this translate for the student and enhancing learning for the student?
You know, I'm glad you asked that question, because a teacher can prepare the lesson in such a way that it is there for the student to interface with at their own time. And I keep using the word in a safe environment. What it means that I can catch up with the material in my own time, do the quizzes, get immediate feedback, and get a sense of confidence. And so this can help the students to improve their performance, you know, overall performance. And which brings me to another point. Now that we are moving towards universal secondary education, we can embrace the technology to move a student from this point to the ultimate point of completing the full secondary program, no matter where they are. So for instance, if I left school in second form and I now want to catch up, if we had modules in place where students could use these modules online or in a classroom setting with a facilitator, then students with that sort of situation can be moved through the system with the assistance of ICTs.
All right, is there anything else that you would like to add at this point before we go?
Just to say that I embrace ICTs in education because it has so many benefits. It has benefits for the teacher in that the teacher has a sense of providing a facilitating learning environment. It has benefits for the students who are using the technologies of the day, which they're currently using, but they're using it in a very tangible, proactive way in terms of their education. And I see it as engaging the entire student mass. Those persons who are fidgety and those persons who are touchy and feely and need to be engaged with materials, I think ICTs would help them. You're always going to have what I call the good student who will learn under any condition. But for those students who sitting down for 1 hour is a real stressful thing, then I think if you have an environment where they can engage with material in different forms, I think it will help them.
All right, thank you very much for stopping by and, of course, sharing some valuable thoughts with us here on ICTFEST 7 years.
It has been my pleasure.
And counting.
Thank
All
you.
right, thanks again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking to Ms. Peecheeta Spencer, educator, and we'll have more ICTFEST 7 years and counting when we get back from the break. Stay with us.
My name is Lawrence Jardian. I'm the founder of DMS, Data Management Solutions Limited. We are a software development company. We specialize in payroll software for Antigua and Barbuda businesses. We first developed the product in 1992 and we wrote it for Windows in 2000 to meet Y2K. Since then, we have acquired a number of major clients, including Social Security Board and medical benefits. We also customize our application to meet the needs of many of our clients, to integrate with accounting packages, time and attendance modules, and also Microsoft Word and Excel, popular applications. We have participated in the ICTFEST since 2005. The ICTFEST has given us the opportunity to showcase our product and to meet a number of persons who are providing solutions as well. This year we will be participating in the ICTFEST to continue to demonstrate our product and to some extent assist the national development in terms of its ICT quest.
ICTFEST 2011, empowering the nation, improving lives.
Hello there. Do you know that we are in the middle of a digital revolution? Almost any individual, regardless of their age or socioeconomic background, should be able to make use of the day-to-day technologies, whether it's the internet, mobile cell phones, or computer. I, as an older person, I am fascinated by this ICT revolution that is currently sweeping the nation. And I don't want other senior citizens within our beautiful state to be left behind. I encourage you to get involved as an active user of technology. The ICTFEST has over the years been a wonderful place for me to go and explore the new developments in information communication technology across Antigua and Barbuda and further afield. I have learned about innovations in ICT that improve health service, delivery, education, and everyday business transactions. Don't miss out on this golden opportunity to learn more about information communication technology. See you soon at the ICTFEST.
ICTFEST 2011, empowering the nation, improving lives.
Thanks for staying with us here on ICTFEST 7 years and counting. I'm R. Anderson Edjo. Just to remind you, the dates for ICTFEST 2011 are October 12 and 13. We're looking forward to seeing you there. Well, right now we have in studio with us Miss Sandra Tucker. She's the database administrator here at the Ministry of Information, Broadcasting, Telecommunications, Science and Technology. Good evening, Miss Tucker.
Good evening, Mr. Anderson.
All right, now your name would have come to the fore surrounding the Track 1 software, which of course is a specialized software used in daycares, preschools, and creches. First of all, tell us about that software and some of the background as to the design of it. What was it designed to do, really?
It was designed to capture the information about the students in the school. It's really to assist the administrators of the preschools with managing the school. So in terms of registration, the registration process, it should remove the need to repeat parents. So if parents came 1 year, they enter the information, and then it would allow them to enter the children's data, produce reports, gather statistics, even allow them to easily create awards, certificates, things that they would normally previously they would have had to ask somebody to help them to produce certificates at graduation time. They can do it all themselves now.
All right, now we know the Ministry of Information issued notebook computers along with the specialized software to quite a number of institutions, preschool institutions sometime last year. What has been the feedback to this point?
Well, so far, I must say the teachers are eager, because what makes me feel really good is when they would call back. Like, I've done a number of updates, upgrading the software, because as time would go on, I would make changes, and they would actually call and come for an update, and I would see, you know, the data they have in it. Sometimes they need a little assistance, and they're very eager to use the software.
All right, tell us about the training process, because obviously there would be some training involved in it.
We had so far 62 schools. We did an introduction to computers program. Then we went on to the software. So it's a two-part program. And so far, over the last year, I found that the teachers are, especially the last batch, they've caught on to using the computer. So they already have the computer in hand. We don't have to start from scratch from the beginning. They actually know a lot about the computers now. So we just quickly move into the software.
All right, great. Now I'm hearing that there is something else in the pipeline as far as software development is concerned. Do you care to shed some more light on that for us?
Okay. After working on Abitrac 1, I was encouraged, you know, I continued on into a software that will help not just the preschools, but any higher learning institution. I don't think there's a limit right now to where it can work. And that one, you can do a lot more. We can do automatic grading, ranking, produce reports. I've tested it, like I can put in about 200, and I remember one day I was doing like 285 records, which involve various subjects and student names. And in a matter of half an hour, I had all those records in and had the reports ready to be printed. So I look at the idea of speed. Okay. Yes.
All right. Now I know sometime last year we had some individuals from some neighboring islands taking a look at the Abitrac 1 software. What sort of feedback did you get from that group?
Well, they were quite interested because they wanted to. Actually, one of the guys even wanted to go away with the manual. Yes, they were quite interested. They were quite pleased with it.
All right. So what's in the future for the Abitrac software here in Antigua and Barbuda, and perhaps maybe in the neighboring countries?
Well, I know the minister said that Trinidad expressed interest in Abitrac 1. Well, that first one, I call that one 1, but the idea of the second one version, that's supposed to be 2.
Okay. Let's talk a bit more about some of the benefits of the new one, the Abitrac 2 software. How can schools really realize some of the real benefits from this one?
I think some schools might have already had some software in use. So I'm thinking of it more as a tool for the teacher personally. But it can also be used for the whole school, you know. So it's small, it's handy. It's a handy tool for the teacher.
Okay. And having some prior discussions with you, I understand this software actually produces a year-end report.
Yes, it ranks. It allows you to put in your marks during the term, end of term, and it automatically does your final calculation. And for all the 3 sets of marks, it will rank, grade based on a grade setup you would have set up. And at the end of the year, or at any point, you could produce a year's report, which would show all 3 terms, along with a final total, a final rank, a final grade, which covers the whole 3 terms, all 3 for the year. So.
All right, let's talk a bit about some of the back-end work. What goes into building a software? What is the process like? How do you go about designing a software to meet any particular needs?
Well, it takes a lot of, it's the vision. I would say first, in this case with Arbitra, it was a vision that came from the ministry. I didn't start it. But I think because it was the minister and Asher, the coordinator for the, in the project, special projects coordinator, they approached me about doing the software for the preschool teachers. And I think I caught on to it because I actually spent 1 year as a teacher here at Antigua. And I can mention that was at Christ the King, you know. And I know the type of things I had to do in the ranking and the grading of students, writing in books and keeping it, you know. And so I think after doing the one for the preschool with that vision that the minister and Asher had for the preschools and working along with the early childhood program, it kind of encouraged me, but you have to sit down and really think how this software will make life easier, because I know sometimes I'm doing the work and you repeat something over and over. I have to say, no, this cannot be repeated. Yes. I have to always be breaking it down to make it a one-off process. That I feel anything that has to be repeated or that is a repeating process, it's something that you can make a tool to make it simple and allow you to do it one time. So that's some of the things that would drive me to this work. And in terms of designing, I always have to try to put myself in that person's shoes, you know. So to see, sometimes you click a button, the person who is using it won't realize how much I had to think, you know, when you click what should happen in the background to prevent certain things from happening or to cause something to happen. So it takes a lot of time, a lot of reflection, you know. So I think it's a process that you constantly think about when you're working on a project and try. And I can now understand why Microsoft, you see people coming out with updates every time you put on your computer, updates. Because you always try to improve on what you had produced before. And it can be quite an addiction. You can build a program and you could keep going. And it's really difficult to say, stop, this is it.
All right. But any final words you'd like to add at this point?
Well, I'd just like to encourage in the light of development now, I would like to encourage our youths to try their hands at developing software. Don't just play games on the computer. Do something. Try to produce your own games. Work on some. We have a lot of programs out there, a lot of information online. Find something so that you can build some software, and it's an area I think we should get into more than just being users, but we should be producers ourselves.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Sandra Tucker, for stopping by.
You're
Once again,
welcome.
we've been speaking to Ms. Sandra Tucker. She's a database administrator here at the Ministry of Information. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after the break.
Hello everyone, my name is Gamal Gooden of G Productions Online, the graphic and web design specialist in Antigua. And I must say that the ICTFEST has definitely positively impacted my business. Back in 2005, when I decided to start my business, the ICTFEST served as a launching pad for my business as an introduction into the business world of Antigua. From the ICTFEST, I got a lot of exposure from radio, television, and even news broadcasts. From that exposure, I gained a lot of clientele from individuals, small businesses, up to large companies, even the government. And from the clientele, I got many opportunities. I've done websites and graphics for customers all over Antigua, all over the neighboring islands, as far as the USA, United Kingdom, even as far as Japan. So I must say that the ICTFEST has positively impacted my business.
ICT Fest 2011, empowering the nation, improving lives.
My name is Ken Shipley. I'm the Managing Director of Search Antigua. We are a website development and internet hosting company. ICT has impacted my life by not only giving me the tools to create a business of my own, but for also creating employment opportunities for fellow Antiguans and Barbudans. Anyone who is interested in visiting the beautiful island of Antigua and Barbuda can visit searchantigua.com to get more information.
ICT Fest 2011, empowering the nation, improving lives.
Thanks for staying with us here on ICT Fest 7 years and counting. Our special focus tonight was on ICT's enhancing learning in the classroom. Remember the dates for ICT Fest 2011, October 12 and 13. And the theme for ICT Fest is Empowering the Nation, Improving Lives. For more information on ICT Fest 2011, you can contact us at 468-4610 or email us at ictfestantigua@gmail.com or visit www.ictfest.ag. I'm R. Anderson Edgel. Do join us again next week.